Hi, this is Robert Keane, Director of International Campaigns.
La vida en Colombia está lleno de frutos. Empezando.
Die loslassen und manche dann sagen, ja, es ist nicht mehr so.
People start saying that, you know, if your thoughts fall foul of the popular opinion, that they're somehow criminal.
Mi hija ha decidido no abortar.
Our freedom in a democracy, in our open society, begins with the freedom of speech.
Ante todo, los pilares de 40 días, ¿no? La oración, el ayuno,
You know, so sometimes it's just a little thing that we have to do. So
También dignidad, que son creados también por
But
Dios.
beyond what we say, anything we do at 40 Days for Life, anything we say to defend the unborn, we do with love.
Los bebés no tienen que ser abortados de una madre.
40 Days for Life International Podcast.
El podcast de 40 días por la vida internacional.
Hola queridos amigos, soy Lourdes Varela de 40 días por la vida en Iberoamérica y estamos aquí con Shawn Carney haciendo esta apertura de nuestras nuevas entrevistas que tendremos para ustedes en exclusiva. Y no solamente, bueno, va a ser esta en inglés, vamos a tener también en español, vamos a tener mucho contenido, así es que no se lo pueden perder.
Hi, this is Robert Cahoon, Director of International Campaigns, and I'm here with Shawn Carney, President and CEO, co-founder of 40 Days for Life, and also Lourdes Varela, the head of Latin America for 40 Days for Life. We've got a new website out, go to 40 Days for Life international.com. But Shawn, it's a privilege and honor to be with you here in the conference in the United States. Tell us, right, 101, how did 40 Days for Life get started at the beginning, right back in the good old days in Texas in 2004? Tell us how it all started here.
Hola, mis amigos, ¿cómo estás? Mi español, muy malo, muy malo.
Muy poquito.
Muy poquito. Tequila, cerveza.
En Bogotá, with
Bogotá.
accent.
Una más cerveza, por favor. That was it. Okay. So
That's your Spanish all in one.
that was it. Sorry, that's it. Lo siento. Well, it was 40 Days for Life started out of frustration, as many of you in your city and country are frustrated with abortion. You can feel helpless. You can feel isolated. So we felt that in College Station, Texas, which is a university city with 80,000 college students. It's the third largest university in the United States. And so we had an abortion facility and our abortion numbers were going up. So we spent time in prayer. 40 days came to us. Let's use this time period that we do prayer, fasting, because without that, it's all useless and you won't accomplish anything. And we did the peaceful vigil, a 24-hour vigil outside of our Planned Parenthood, and it dropped abortions by 28%. And that was in 2004. And just about 3 years ago, I met a teenager who was saved during that campaign. Wow. That first 40 Days for Life campaign. I met him 16 years later.
Wow!
So he was in high school and going to college, and so you never know.
Can you tell us how was it? Because I read that the Heart of the Mother.
Yes.
One of the books of 40 Days for Life, written by Shawn Carney. But tell us, how was it?
It was surreal. I think it's you don't have favorite moments, but of course many people know Milagros, who was born. Who mom came from Mexico and had Milagros, who is severely disabled, and her mom chose life. That's one of the most moving, because I met her mom, Rosa, when she was pregnant with Milagros. Then I met Milagros, and then I've met Milagros 3 or 4 times since she was born. But we've all met or seen a picture of a baby saved. But to meet a teenager, a good-looking young man.
It's phenomenal.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the mom came up and said, I just want to share this story. Wow. And it really blew me away. It's why I put it in the book, because that's just rare, you know? And you hear stories of somebody saying, oh, my mom was going to abort me, but she didn't. That was 40 years ago. But to meet a baby that was saved during that first 40 Days for Life campaign, when my wife, she was out there from 7 to 3 o'clock every day during the first 40 days. So we encountered her at some point, but then to meet a teenager it shows that we're saving babies, toddlers, second graders, teenagers, elderly people, future moms, future generations. So it was awesome.
Now, you also did a bread and water fast right at the early days, and you also
Now we have to
visited,
talk
how many
There's no merit an40
how many houses did you visit to the community outreach? And you knocked on the door of the abortionists as well.
Yeah, we did 40,000 households that we went to, and we had a team. I ended up knocking on the door of a Planned Parenthood worker. This is a little awkward for both of us. So it was awkward, such a situation.
You're invited to join.
Really hot out today. Yeah. So, but that really, I'm glad I knocked on the door of the worker, because I remember the look in her face was, they're going door to door. Like, we would never do that. Yeah. We couldn't do it if we wanted to, because we don't have the volunteers. And just the level of, holy moly, y'all are crazy. And just, I can't believe how dedicated you are. Because it was hot. The first 40 Days for Life campaign was from September 1st through October 10th.
Ouch.
Loco. Yeah. Mucho calor. Or caliente. Caliente, mucho calor.
With mosquitoes.
Okay, so, but they knew that, and when you live in a hot place, just as if you live in a very cold place, they respect your endurance for the weather, and we definitely had that.
Actually, I want to mention something. I'm going to switch to Spanish. Hay muchas personas que me dicen, pero es que aquí hace mucho calor, tenemos que traer sombrillas o cosas que nos tapen del calor, un árbol, tenemos que encontrar una zona donde estar. Pero aquí el ejemplo que nos está dando Shawn, no había nada, no había sombrillas, no había árboles, there were no shadows to cover you from the sun, from the heat. Right?
Right. No trees.
24 hours. That was the first campaign.
Yeah, the Knights of Columbus took the night shift from 11 o'clock at night to 7 o'clock in the morning. But I hope it's important to the viewer that we never intended for 40 Days for Life to spread. So we did that campaign, and we were exhausted. We were tired. And so we never wanted to hear the term 40 Days for Life ever again. And then groups across the country started asking us, and then in 2007 we launched it. But being small-minded Americans, and where we don't think other countries exist, it's just us. We're alone in the world.
Mexico, where's that?
It's like it's just like
Colombia?
we're the only ones. And so whenever it first went to England, I think that was because it went to Canada, but Americans don't really consider Canada. It's just like going to Minnesota. And so, but when it went to England, I remember I really perked up. And then when it went to Mexico, and actually flourished in Mexico, and it was awesome.
So
and
how did it spread around the country? And so from that first campaign, and then suddenly a national launch, and then it just went viral.
Well, people are surprised.
It
spread in our most liberal pro-abortion areas.
Yeah.
So we were very weak in the South, the best part of America, where all the good people live. The South was very weak. Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, hard to get campaigns. California was huge. New York, New Jersey, Washington State, Oregon, all big 40 Days for Life early on. So we had 89 cities that first fall of 2007, and then that led to the Lent campaign. We had 53 cities. We had 53 cities in the Lent of 2008, and now we bump up against 53 cities just in California.
But how was it? You started 2004, right?
2004 was the first campaign, then we launched it nationally in 2007.
But all that period of time, did you do something, or that was no more 40 Days for Life? Or?
Green Bay, Wisconsin did an independent campaign, and we helped them. We printed their flyers.
But you didn't do another one in College Station, did you? Wow.
No, because we thought, that was a good idea, but nobody wants to do it again. So, but I flew to Green Bay, Wisconsin. I helped them. We helped a group in Seattle. We helped a group in North Carolina. And then that was the model, and we thought we're going to launch this nationally. And we did in 2007. Our goal was to have 25 cities.
Wow.
Oh,
Hit it out of the
25
park.
cities, but
And we thought, well, Texas alone will have 20 cities, or 10 cities. And nobody signed up originally. Eventually we had like 3 or 4 cities in Texas, but the first city to sign up was Sacramento, California.
wow.
So what's it been like seeing the international growth of the 40 days, you know, first Latin America and also Europe and, you know, just kind of blown your mind?
It's been awesome. I love it.
It's been pretty cool.
I love it. And it's expanded our horizon because what we're told, and we're told this by some of the international media, is that this is an American thing. Nobody cares about it. I thought abortion, because I grew up in a very Catholic, East Texas, there's not a lot of Catholics. So I grew up in a very Hispanic Catholic area, a lot of Mexican Catholics. So that was normal. We had devotion to Our Lady of Guadalupe, and I just assumed abortion was illegal in Mexico. So I would have never, and we just assumed all Latin American countries are super Catholic and there's no abortion. I thought that for a very long time.
But us
Yeah.
in Latin America,
Probably the same thing,
people said it will never happen here. It will never arrive. We will never have abortion. We don't have, and it won't be real here in our countries, because our countries are with faith and family. And also in Argentina, people told me that we won't allow abortion came. And it happened.
And it's disheartening because America, this is a huge sin of America, in that we've exported abortion around the world. So we should be very harsh on our own country. I never applied that to other countries. I never thought, well, Latin America is going to do it to themselves. Colombia is going to do it. Colombia is going to do it to themselves. Mexico is going to do it to themselves, because they just seem more religious and had more devotion. So very disappointing, obviously, now, because we go down there and you go to Bogota and there's the 65 abortion clinics in 5 square miles. So, but I think for Europe, it's so secular. And we're told America's very religious and nobody cares, and yet you see what's happened in Germany, you see what's happened in England. The more secular the place, the bigger the impact 40 Days for Life has. We see that in the United States with California and New York. We see it in England. It's still shocking to people that 40 Days for Life is so big in England, because it's so
amazing. And what was it like seeing Roe end here in America? Like,
it was awesome.
You know, I mean,
it was awesome. It's
for us, that's unthinkable. In England, like, people did, okay, that would just never happen here.
I think too.
And to actually see it happen, you know, I mean, just to describe the experience. Of,
I think
it
people,
being announced and just everyone going nuts.
It's a dream come true, and I think in the pro-life movement and all of your countries, wherever you are, you have to dream that abortion can end and that you can have a role in it. There's also a lot of people that never thought they'd see the day that Roe was overturned. I did. I thought in my lifetime, I thought I'd be older, but I thought maybe as an old man or something. But I felt like I was going to see Roe overturned. But for them to do it, and we expected them to do it, it was just glorious. I mean, look at all the cultural problems we have, and this was a major, what's so significant.
Unexpected as well.
And it's great internationally, because America, who essentially gave abortion to Latin America and gave abortion to Africa, it's America. It's not some little country no one's heard of, right? It's either you love us or you hate us. There's usually never a combination. Or you love our Coca-Cola and our Apple iPhones, but you hate something else, whatever. People cursing corporate America as they're on their iPhone. But America overturned Roe. And I think that going over to London and speaking at their March for Life in Parliament Square, being down in Bogota last December, and just the enthusiasm of, you guys, you're the worst. And we are. We're the worst with abortion. We're in North Korea, China, and Vietnam. And abortion through all 40 weeks, and yet we overturned Roe v. Wade. And that's the hope that we should have. And one last thing on this about it traveling internationally is it proves natural law. That we know what the church teaches, what Scripture teaches, that man has a nature and he has a divine nature that he's called to live up to, And you can't root that out by law. That doesn't stop when you go to the border at Guatemala. It doesn't stop when you go to Nigeria. It doesn't stop when you go to Frankfurt, Germany. It's ingrained in our hearts, and people don't want to kill their own children. And that's where the hope of 40 Days for Life spreading internationally, that's where I thought this really could go anywhere. Yeah. And it continues to do that.
What is a ministry like in post-Roe America? What's pro-life ministry like, and how's it changed?
It's very hostile.
Okay.
We're hated. We have a big target on our back. Now, because we have a very pro-abortion government, we have a horrible president. El presidente muy malo.
Muy malo.
Very bad. Because of that, our government started to persecute us. So we saw our Department of Justice. We see our Food and Drug Administration promoting chemical abortions. We see our military paying. Our military is forcing women who serve in the military to shower with men who are trans, and at the same time saying that they support women because now they're going to pay for their abortion. And it is such an insult to all the great women who have served in our military, and they didn't want an abortion, they just wanted to serve our country. So the persecution from our own government has been the response.
Also, the FBI were in someone leader's house, right?
Yes, Mark Houck, our 40 Days for Life volunteer, he had his house raided.
The FBI, but he succeeded, right?
Yes, he won. He won in court. He won in court, and when we defended him, and we continue to defend him. But I don't mind those problems. It's good. It's good because it means that we're winning. And if our government, nobody paid attention to 40 Days for Life 7 or 8 years ago. Nobody cared. We're out celebrating this abortion facility closed. And they're like, you're a bunch of idiots with your religion. And now it's different. And it got a little bit more intense when Donald Trump got elected because he was pro-life.
Yes, that's
and
true.
so if you were seen in any way to have any thoughts like Donald Trump, you were evil. You were evil. And so 2017, after he got elected, we started seeing more persecution. But it was overnight when they overturned Roe versus Wade, it was like a light switch that the government just started targeting us.
Yeah. And Shawn, can you tell some of the results internationally, nationally, how this post-Roe, this is the symposium we are having right now, but this, as Shawn said, esto, como Shawn dijo, es uno de los resultados de 40 días por la vida también, porque estamos cambiando la narrativa, pero todo desde la oración. So, Shawn, can you tell us a little bit about the results?
Yeah, I mean, the results, like we talked about human nature and giving hope to a mom, that's all we're doing. This really isn't anything special. And that works and can be done anywhere. So we've seen now 23,524 babies as of this recording saved. We don't know most of the babies because the Planned Parenthood workers who leave and convert, they tell us that the no-show rate for an abortion appointment, when they just won't show up, it goes as high as 75% when you're out there praying. So just by going out, you're not going to see most of the results, but they're there, according to the abortion workers themselves. And we've closed 139 abortion facilities. Many people know that the headquarters of 40 Days for Life is the closed Planned Parenthood, where 40 Days for Life first began in 2004. We have a beautiful memorial to the unborn. We have adoration angels from Colombia that we bought, and those are in our memorial. We also have helped 251 abortion workers who have had a change of heart and left their jobs. So
that's amazing. And also I want to mention that some of the abortion centers that have closed are in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
And I want
And
to
London.
tell you,
And even
the
godless,
first stops, the first Mary
even
stop.
godless anti-Catholic England has closed abortion facilities.
But the first Mary stop, we have Mary stops in
Yes.
Mexico. And the first one in London, it was closed, right?
You bet. I mean, yeah, wow, we'd never thought that was possible. So for anyone who's like a new leader or starting out, you know, just the vision and just what Shawn shared of just how it's spread to so many places beyond our wildest imagination. If we put God first, then these things really can come true. And what gives you hope for the future, Shawn? Just the last question. Where do you see hope and where do you see opportunity?
I think America will end abortion statewide. We have 23 states as of today that are abortion free, essentially.
Wow.
And regionally,
From
that's
how
gonna-
many? 23 from?
50.
50. Wow. Yeah.
There's 50
this
states.
Is the world. This is
Guys,
for the
there's
world.
50 states.
I don't know.
50 states, come on.
24 from 25?
Yeah. No. 23 out of 50. So I think that abortion will end up being protected under the 14th Amendment. I don't think we're going to be able to do this. We can't say that you're not human in California and you are human in Texas.
Yeah.
It's not sustainable. And what gives me hope, and what I hope everyone gets from this, is that because 40 Days for Life has now gone to 1,500 cities in 64 countries, it is now proven that you can do this anywhere and it works. So you're not wondering, you're not hoping, you're not scared.
That's right, yeah.
It is proven to work everywhere. In all of the Eastern Europe, Western Europe, Africa, Latin America, language is not a problem. So we need to do it. We need to do it because we need to remind our governments of the grave injustice that they're committing and how awful history will judge them. Because what we do is we look back and we say, there used to be a lot of really bad people, and they were Nazis and they were slave owners and they were all bad and they're all in the past. And hell is a one-bedroom apartment and only Hitler's there. He's the only bad guy in the history of the world. And that's not true. We are capable of atrocity. We are capable of grave evil.
This is the worst.
And we're blinded because we live in the time of which it goes on. And so when we stand up and we pray and we go out there, we're giving a peaceful rejection of what our culture has accepted.
And this time is, for example, when we are praying, it says, the church, all of you are, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to repeat that. but it's against the church, especially, I don't know if in Europe or here, but when the people yell at us, the priests are but I'm not a priest.
No, I have never been yelled at or persecuted or had somebody shout at me because I was pro-life. Not once. It's always because I'm Catholic or Christian.
That's true.
At the center of the abortion issue is a deep hatred of Jesus Christ. It is the complete opposite of the Annunciation, the greatest moment in the history of the world. Christ coming in to save us from our sins. It's an attack on that, and it has to be because He's the author of life.
Yeah, Shawn, do you have an end message for the audience?
Yeah, don't get discouraged. Don't get discouraged. The devil will tempt us to be discouraged, to enter into despair. Don't do it. We always have to remember the foot of the cross when we do pro-life work, in that it just seemed like everything fell apart. The apostles run off, and we have Mary and John and Mary Magdalene at the foot of the cross. And that's where we are. You know, that's where we are. We have to join our suffering to His, as St. Paul says, and know that He wins. We know that He wins, but we don't always trust that He wins. And the pro-life movement gives us a beautiful opportunity to celebrate the life of Christ, to follow the life of Christ, and to meditate upon His sufferings and to change the world and trust Him to use us to do that.
Thank you very much indeed, Shawn. It's been a great interview today. We'll call it a day there, but do go to 40daysforlifeinternational.com. It's a very exciting time for our international campaigns with new doors opening, new countries, new opportunities. And what we've heard here from Shawn in America, we're taking to people all around the world. So go to our website, join, and continue to watch these podcasts. Thank you very much indeed, Shawn. Thank you, Lourdes. May God bless you, and we'll see you next time.
No te pierdas los podcasts de 40 días por la vida internacional con entrevistas, reportajes y testimonios de todo el mundo.
Don't miss our podcasts with interviews, news, and reports from around the world.